Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Alex and you're watching BC Adventure. Today we're going to be looking at unRaid Docker and the must-have applications that you need to get started with your unRaid server. We're going to jump into how to get some of these applications set up, as well as showing you what they do and why they might be a great solution for you. Let's jump into it. All right, so one of the first applications, and by far the most popular, has to be Plex Media Server. So what is Plex Media Server? It is basically a Docker application that allows you to host all your media that you have purchased, in quotes, over your lifetime, and have consolidated it all onto your unRaid server. Plex is a great tool to consolidate all your media into categories and give a beautiful Netflix-like interface that I actually prefer. We don't pay for streaming services anymore. I would much rather purchase our TV shows once they're released for purchase and then host them on my own server so that they cannot disappear. I use Plex. My family and friends all use my Plex server. And I've got my TV shows, my movies. I've got live TV on here. And now I do have to give a little disclaimer here. It's best that you know the laws for your area. I can't speak for anywhere else other than Canada, and in Canada we have really good freedom of speech laws, and that includes how we access our media. It's considered a form of freedom of speech, and uh, it basically gives us access to news hosting sites and all that fun stuff. However, if you enjoy a TV show or movie, support the artists. It's important. Pirating is not the answer. It's a lot of people's answers. However, I'm not for it. I don't advocate for it. I pay for all my media outright and host it on my server because that's a choice that I make. Um, to each their own, though. At the end of the day, I don't really care what everyone does. As long as you're comfortable with what you're doing, then teach their own. Installing Plex. Plex is super easy to install. If you head over to the app section on your unRaid dashboard and just search for Plex Media Server, we'll go ahead and search for that. And this one right here, the one by Plex, this is the official Docker. So if you want to go ahead and install a Plex media server, I'll just use a different one as an example. What you'll do is you'll hit the install button. Here under your media path, you'll want to put the main folder for where all your media is stored. In my case, it's under multimedia. Your transcode directory. There's two ways you could do this. You could just leave this as is, or if you want to transcode on your RAM, which is a lot more quicker, you can do /TMP/, and that will actually transcode your media files in your RAM. Just a side note for that, make sure you do have sufficient RAM. If you're just running with 32 gigs, I don't recommend it. If you're using 64 gigs or above, by all means, go for it. Or use a video card. That's also a great thing to use as well for transcoding. Leaves your CPU alone and gives you a lot better results. So if we scroll down here, this is giving the NVIDIA driver capabilities. This is so you can use your GPU in your unRaid server. Your NVIDIA visible devices, so you'll need to paste in your GPU device code in here in order for Plex to be able to access it. And then your Plex claim code. This can be generated at the following link. If you don't have a Plex account, you'll have to create one. And it's super simple. You can sign up with Google, Apple, or an email address. And then it's asking if this is on a shared network with a VPN. As we discussed prior, if you are running a VPN server on your unRaid server, you'll want to select this to yes, and what that does is when your VPN server goes down, it triggers your Plex media server to go down as well. So that's it. After that, you would hit apply and it would go ahead and install it. And then after that, you would just head on over to your Dockers and click Web UI. And then from there, it's going to help you walk you through setting up all the things you need to do in order to get Plex Media Server up and running. Super simple. I've been using it for 8 years. I pay for it monthly and I absolutely love it. The next thing we're going to look at is Sonarr and Radarr. These are applications used to manage your media on your Plex media server. So what the function of these two Docker containers are is to find, retrieve, and insert the media into your media folders. So for example, if I wanted to no, I don't even remember my username. That's great. Oh, there we go. Yay! Granted access. Okay, so after it's okay, so keep in mind if you have a large media folder, this could take a second or two to load. So here we'll look at 1,000 Pound Sisters. This show my wife absolutely loves. So the way Sonarr works is it goes and searches the TV database and it finds all the episodes and it lays them out. Over here, we have the monitor function. So if we have this bolded like it is, Sonarr will actually go and try to find the video files for that season, download them, and then copy them or move them over to my multimedia folder where it lives with all the other TV shows. Now, in order to use Sonarr and Radarr, you have to pay for a news server service or an NZB service, as well as what's called an indexer. So there's a couple pieces of the puzzle that I'm not going to show you because I don't want this video flagged. But there are a ton of helpful resources on the Sonarr and Radarr forums that show you how to get it set up. So it's super, super, super simple to set up. So if I wanted to find a new TV show, let's say I was looking for, oh geez, I don't watch TV, so I don't even know any good shows. Um, let's see, top TV shows in 2024. Let's see, Brilliant Minds. Oh, Murder in a Small Town. Let's try that. So if I want to search for a new series, I'm just going to go up here and I'm going to go Murder in a Small Town. I'm going to search. And here, this is the one we were looking at. So if I want to download this, which I'm not advocating you do, I would just hit the, I would press anywhere on here. It's going to bring up this window. It's going to ask if we want to monitor all episodes, which means all the seasons. It's going to ask the quality profile. I'm going to select any. It's going to ask the series type. It's just a standard series. And then it's going to ask you if you want all the files put into season folders, separating them, and then tags to put on uh, the series so that in the future I know who downloaded it or requested it. So I'm just going to click Add Murder in a Small Town. And then from there, as we see over here, it's actually searching for it. So if I go over here to Activity, I can see that it has not found anything. So why don't we find a series that actually will have some episodes to download. So here, let's the Baxters. Yeah. Everybody still hates Chris. Let's search for that one. Oh, here we go. It found some. All right, so let's head over to Activity. It looks like it's searching 971 files. to find the correct ones. So let's just search for everybody still hates Chris. And I already have it. So one of the kids has already downloaded it or requested it. All right, so that is Sonarr. Radarr is exactly the same. So we'll go over here and we'll open Radarr. And Radarr is for movies. So as we see here, we've got all my movies. Well, actually I have filter on. Go all. And this is all managed by this application. So one of the nice things about Radarr is we can actually go in and we can add import lists. And what this does is if we go over to IMDb and we find a user who's got a really nice list of movies that they're sharing, their top 20 or something, we can grab that list ID and we can actually add it to our server. So that whenever one of those movies becomes available, it'll search it, it'll download it, and it'll move it over to your server and make it available for you to watch. It is a powerful system, and I absolutely love it. Again, I've been using this for a Radarr and Sonarr as well as Sabnzbd for about 6 years since I discovered news servers. So getting them installed, how do we do that? So let's head over to our apps and we'll search for Sonarr. So we have a couple different options. I always use the Linux server repository when I can. It's trusted. I trust it. That's the main thing. I've never had an issue with any of their Dockers. So what does it take to get installed? Well, let's click install. It's going to give you the default ports. Sip of water. Okay, and then it's going to ask you where your or where it should store the data. And then here it's going to ask where your media path is. So this would be our, get rid of that. Oh, nope, I'm sorry. So down here, we're going to select our multimedia folder. Actually, I'm wrong. Because this is Sonarr and it's TV shows only, we're going to make sure we're selecting our TV shows folder because we don't want it going into our movies and organizing those. We just want it in our TV shows. We're going to click save. And that is pretty much it. Now, for the host path, that is where yeah, so this is where it's going to store its main files. So we can leave that alone. And then TV shows, we're going to leave that. And yeah, so we basically leave all that and we're going to click apply. One thing I actually do suggest doing is adding another path. You're going to call it downloads. You're going to set the container path to /downloads. You're going to set the host path to where your NZB downloader downloads the files. That's going to be separate from your multimedia. So in my case, it's downloads. So from there, I'm going to hit add. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because when we set up when we set up Sonarr, we want to have somewhere for it to monitor the incoming files from Sabnzbd. So when we show Sonarr and Radarr that it's going to be in that folder, it's going to monitor that folder and it's going to pull the files over or know when they're done. So it's super simple to set up. And again, the initial setup will actually walk you through on how to do that. So go back and it's actually going to be the same for Radarr. So if we go install, yeah. It's going to be the same thing. We're going to put our media path as multimedia. Here, it's actually asking where our download folder is. Great, we didn't have to create an extra path, so we just hit downloads, we're done. Shared network, same thing. Don't need to worry about that unless we're hosting a VPN server on unRaid. So from there, you'd hit apply, and it's the same deal. It's going to walk you through setting it up on the initial setup. So I've mentioned Sabnzbd a few times here, and this is the application I'm talking about. So what this application does is, we got season 1 downloaded 2 minutes ago of Murder in a Small Town. So what this application does is it is the communication between, so you saw right there, it disappeared off of the history. Now what that means is that Sabnzbd has downloaded all the files it needs. Then Sonarr communicated with Sabnzbd and said, hey, are you done downloading this file yet? Sab said, yeah, we did. Here's the path of that file. Then Sonarr goes, oh, great. I have access to that file or to that folder. I'm going to pull it over and I'm going to move it onto into the multimedia and TV shows folder. And then Sab goes, great. I'm going to clear this out of my history since we have no more communication to speak with each other anymore. And then from there, Sonarr then adds it to its database. Sonarr actually then communicates with Plex, because that's how I have it set up, and tells Plex, hey, I just added a new TV show. This is all the metadata. No need to search the server to find out where it is because I'm telling you where it is. It is an amazing piece of software. However, it's a little more complicated to set up because you need you need access to an indexer, which can be pretty tough to come by, especially a reliable one. And then you also need a news server. I'm going to give you access, or I'm going to push you into the direction of how to get access to those. So the first thing you need is a really, really good indexer. I use one and one only because it's amazing and it hasn't let me down. And that indexer is called Drunken Slug. Now, this is a invite only indexer. So in order to, oh, do they have it open? Nope, the bar's closed. So in order to become a member of Drunken Slug, you have to know a member of Drunken Slug. A couple ways to do this: Reddit, the Sonarr and Radarr forums, or yours truly. I have quite a few invites that I have never used. So if you are looking for an invite, drop me a comment down below and let me know that you would like to jump on this. What I'll do is I'll have to reach out to you by private message, and I'll have to get your email address and send you an invite from my dashboard. So what does the Drunken Slug dashboard look like? Well, let's log in. So Drunken Slug costs money. So you, for free, you can start off with 25 appy hits and 5 downloads, and that's it. For the ale, it costs 15 euros, and you get it for 1 year, and you get 1,000 appy hits a day and 100 downloads a day. This is the plan I'm on. I don't see any need to use the $25 one. It would be nice having unlimited appy hits and unlimited downloads, but I don't need it. A lot of my media was actually on DVD and Blu-ray, so I didn't need that initial surge of downloading, downloading thousands of episodes and movies. Didn't need that. Had all my media, so I just painstakingly transcoded it, ripped it and transcoded it off my server, and did it that way. But I quickly learned that even though I own the data already, it was a lot quicker to actually go ahead and search for it, download it that way. I own the data. I'm morally and ethically comfortable with doing it that way. To each their own, though. Basically, if you're interested in getting an invite, I do have quite a few. I have 15 that I can send out. Just need to just have you leave a comment down below that you'd like an invite, and I'll reach out to you via private message, and we can get you set up with Drunken Slug that way. The next thing we're going to need is a news server. Excuse me. So a news server is basically the server you access where the media lives. So as I was saying, it's a two-part system. You need the news server and you need the indexer. Let me just check. Let's see here. Which one do I use? So I use Easy News. Frugal USA is also another one. They're pretty cheap, but I've had the best success with Easy News. Easy News, you don't need an invite. You just basically sign up. And if you do sign up, what you want to sign up for is the, oh, where is it? It's not the regular Easy News plan. You need the, where are we here? Oh, did they get rid of it? Oh no. Okay, well, it looks like they've moonlit the plan that I'm on. Okay, yeah. So the plan I'm on, I pay $10 a month and I get unlimited access, but I do not use their search. I am restricted. I can't use their built-in search. So yeah, I'll leave you to find your own news server. Frugal, um, they are actually pretty good. I did use them. They're only $5 a month US, and they've got 3 servers you can connect to. So yeah, since Easy News is no longer available, yeah, I highly suggest using Frugal Usenet. All right, so that is Sabnzbd. Now let's look at the setup for that. So this one's super easy. All it wanted was the basic ports, where your downloads lived, and where incomplete downloads should be stored if they were to fail. This doesn't need access to our multimedia because Sonarr and Radarr are the ones that are actually going to go in and grab that media from the Sabnzbd folders and pull it over to the multimedia folders. Super simple to set up, and again, it walks you through on how to set it up as soon as you launch it on the first time. All right. What other great applications are there? Well, my next favorite application is Nginx Proxy Manager. What does this application do? So basically, this is a Docker container that I use to access my services outside of the home. So if we look in here, we see I've got Ombi, which is another application for Plex. I've got Photos. This is a photo server that I host for my family. Here I have SRV1. This is my Windows server, and it's actually hosted elsewhere on my network. But the great thing about Nginx Proxy Manager is it allows me to basically create a domain name for any network service on my network. I just have to go into my my web domain host and create an A record for the subdomain and forward it off to my public IP address. And Proxy Manager makes that all manageable. So it's super simple. If I was to say, um, if I wanted to make, so this is my API manager here. So if I wanted to make this web accessible, I would just basically take this port and the IP address, remember it, come over to my proxy manager. I would add a proxy host, and because I already have it created, we'll just look at the one here. I would create a proxy host. I would name it, give it the domain name that I want, the HTTP scheme, the IP address of my unRaid server, and the port I want forwarded. And I can even give it an SSL certificate so that it's using secured communications over the internet. And it's that simple. It's just you hit create, and as long as you've done the other side of things on your web hosting server or web hosting domain provider, it just works. So if I click it, bam, I'm in. This is accessible on the web. I've logged into it previously, but this is accessible on the web, and it's secured. It has a valid certificate, and that's it. It just works. It's that simple. So setting up Nginx proxy manager is also really easy. So if we go to our community applications and we just search for proxy manager, and this is the one that I'm using. However, you can use this one too. It doesn't really matter. And if we want to get it installed, all we need to do is make sure our ports aren't conflicting with any other applications, which you can do by show Docker allocations. And from there, you're just going to hit apply and you're going to launch it. It's going to ask you to create an admin user, and that's it. It's that simple. You do have to forward port 80 and 443 on your router to your unRaid server. But other than that, it's that simple. It really is. I have done a video on installing Plex and installing Nginx proxy manager. I will link to those in the description below. All right. Next Docker we're going to look at Home Assistant. This is a freaking powerhouse. This is this is my central control for everything in the home that is smart device connected. So basically I don't use Home Assistant like the dashboard. I don't use any of that. I use Apple HomeKit. So basically all my devices that I have, um, so my light switches, my cameras, my speakers, you name it, my temperature sensors, everything. It basically takes it all, puts it into one little package, and then makes it so that you can just scan a QR code with your iPhone, and this is what you get. You get everything that's connected in your home to Home Assistant on your Apple HomeKit. So I've got our front door, our air conditioning, our hallway lights, kitchen, bathroom, living room, our stair lights, upstairs hallway, I got our master bedroom lights, side table, our Christmas lights, kids' bathroom, the garage. And yeah, it makes a difference. I truly use Apple HomeKit every single day, multiple times a day. We got our speakers and we got our cameras here. It's a wonderful piece of software. However, it does take quite a bit of time to get set up and set up just the way that you like it. If you're going to be using the Home Assistant dashboard. This one I will do a separate video on how to set up, but if you're looking to get it started, you can. There's some great tutorials out there. You don't need to do anything other than ensure the web port is non-conflicting, which again you can do through show Docker allocations, and then apply. And again, it's going to walk you through how to set it up and discover your devices on the first boot. So back to our apps. Okay, so the next thing we can look at is Ombi. So what is Ombi? This is connected to Plex, and basically this is a requesting service that you can give access to your friends and family, either in or outside of the house. Mine is accessible outside of the house, so if I go over to ombi.familyo.ca, we can see we can get logged in here. So if I log in, oh, wrong password, whatever. I'm not going to get logged in. I'm already logged in here. So Yeah, you basically you give access to your users, and they can log in and request movies or TV shows right here. You can also set it up to request music albums as well. However, with Apple Music, Spotify, Dozer, Deezer, whatever it's called, and all those different apps, you don't need to pirate music anymore. It's pay $10 a month and get it. It's cheap. Come on, people. Okay, next application, which we kind of already touched on, would be N8N. What this is it's a oh, I can't log in via that way. I have to use a secured connection. What this does is it connects anything with an API together all in one place and allows you to create workflows so that you get notifications or emails when certain things happen. Um, this is a more advanced application. You kind of got to understand networks and API authentication in order to fully utilize this application here. I'm not well versed on API calls, so I am learning this right now in my spare time. So, not going to cover too much on this other than it is a really neat application to connect anything and everything with an API. And lastly, we're going to look at Tautulli. Tautulli is an application used to monitor your Plex server. And basically, what it does is it lets you know who's using it, what's being accessed, and as well as the history. So here we see there's no activity right now, but if I go over to history, we can see here the IP address, the platform, the player, and the media that was played. So it's a really nice way to keep tabs on your Plex server and have some history. It also shows you your media albums here, like a TV show, your movies, all that fun stuff, and yeah, it's basically a way to get some statistics and just get you a little bit more in touch with your server. Super easy to set up. All you're going to do is search for Tautulli. And here we see I have this one installed. And this I'm using Tautulli's repository. And to get this installed, you don't need to do anything other than make sure the port is non-conflicting, which you do from show Docker allocations. I can set your time zone, which I have incorrectly set, and apply. Again, it walks you through connecting it to your Plex server, and you're up and running literally within a few minutes. So yeah, uh, unRaid Docker, super powerful, super convenient, private. It's a wonderful service, and I can't say enough about it. It's something that I've been using for 7 years now, 8 years since I started using unRaid. I learned how to use it. And I couldn't imagine my life without Docker in it. It's that integral, that intertwined with everything I do on a day-to-day basis. Actually, I'm going to show you one more. This is a really neat application if you use remote desktop. I was using the native Windows application on my Mac in order to access my Windows servers. However, I thought this was kind of silly because it's using my resources in some cases instead of the computer's resources that I'm using. So I was watching a Network Chuck video, which I'm a huge fan of Network Chuck. I love in his videos how everything's an emergency and you need to stop right frickin' now to do it. His sense of urgency on learning the technology is entertaining, and he's actually one of the reasons why I started creating tech tutorials and videos. Um, he's an amazingly smart man, and his family is absolutely adorable, and I do thoroughly enjoy watching his videos. So yeah, go check out Network Chuck. He's amazing. He's thorough, and his breakdowns are like none other I've seen. He has the ability to break down things that can seem very complicated. He just breaks them down on a whole nother level that just makes it so that everyone understands. And I've seen quite a few videos with his daughters where he's including them, where he breaks it down to a level that they understand. He just has a natural way of breaking things down. I've said breaking things down too many times. All right. So what is RustDesk? RustDesk is a it's remote desktop. That's exactly what it is. And basically it's super easy. You can host your own relay on or in Docker on your unRaid server, which encrypts all your connections. And when you use a relay, it actually shows you all the connected desktops you have on your network. So even if they're outside of the network, as long as it's connected to your relay, it'll show up here in your discovered section. Uh, this runs exactly like TeamViewer, except it's free, and it's really easy to set up as well. So basically, all you do is you go over to the community applications, and you're going to search for RustDesk. Now, you do not want to install RustDesk. You want to install RustDesk Server AIO. This is a VNC application that hosts the RustDesk application itself and allows you to remote in via a VNC. However, I looked at it and tried it, and I did not like it at all. I cannot figure out why this exists. You're going to want to install the RustDesk Server AIO. Again, super simple. All you're going to do is you're going to make sure that enable RustDesk Server is true. You're going to enable RustDesk Relay, make sure that's true. And just take note of the RustDesk Server ports, and you're going to hit apply. And that's it. That's all you need to do to get that installed. However, what you are going to need to do once it's installed is you're going to need to get your key. That's your public key that you need in order to connect to your relay. And the way you're going to do that is you're just going to click on the icon, and you're going to go to logs, and you're going to see two. You're going to see two different keys. So there's going to be one on top that says public private key, and then there's going to be one a little bit lower on the screen that says private key. You're going to want to grab the one at the top named public private key. And then from there, you're going to want to copy everything right to the end, including the equal sign. Once you do that, you would then open your RustDesk application. You would go over here to ID, and you would go down to network, and you're going to unlock your network settings, which I'm not going to do because I've already done it. And then you're going to click on ID relay server. You know what? I'll do it. So when we click here, we need to put in our unRaid server address, and then we need to paste in our public key, which you can see because it's public. And that's it. You'll see at the bottom here, it'll say ready, and you know that you have a secure connection. So if I click this here, it's going to connect, and we see that I am logged into my so we see that I'm connected to my Skywalker server RustDesk. So yeah, I can access everything on the server here, and yeah, just it just works. Use my dashboard. So yeah, this is free. Doesn't cost you a dime, which is pretty awesome. All right. This video's gone about 20 minutes longer than I wanted to, so I'm going to end this here. I hope you found this useful. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see anything else. If you want an invite to Drunken Slug, leave a comment. I'll reach out to you privately, and we'll get you set up with a Drunken Slug account. All right, that's it for now. You guys have an awesome day. I will catch you in the next one, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. It's Wednesday. It's only 11:30 in the morning. I got to be at work in 2.5 hours. And yay, healthcare! I can't wait. Go solve people's nightmares in staffing. Yeah, if you didn't know, I work in the staffing department for a health authority here in British Columbia, and one of my responsibilities is staffing two major hospitals as well as respiratory for a third major hospital. I make sure that our nurses, so our RNs, LPNs, healthcare aides, respiratory technicians, physiotherapists, you name it, I make sure these guys are showing up to work and getting patients the help they need. Um, One of the most stressful jobs I've ever had my entire life, but I love it. And I actually took a new position coming up here too. I'm getting deeper into the belly of the beast. I'm going to be moving into timekeeping. So I'm going to be making sure that people actually showed up to their shifts and they're getting paid appropriately. Anyways, I'm getting out of here. I got to get ready for work. You guys have an awesome rest of your day. I will catch you in the next one. Take it easy, everyone.